grab your pen and paper. I'm so excited to get to talk about one of my favorite topics today and to teach on how to have increase in your business. And the theme behind talking about how to have an organo mixer, how to host an organo mixer, how to invite. How many of you would love to have people show up at your organo meetings? Okay, about half of you. How many of you know that you have to have a meeting in order for people to show up at your meeting, right? See, one of the things that's so incredible about this business, and really about life in general, is that to win is actually very, very simple. It's not complicated. It takes consistency. It takes coachability. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you right now that some of the announcements that are going to take place on this stage this weekend, there's just one person that's out there today right now. I'm talking to you, the one that came here and said, I'm here to get exactly what I need for my financial breakthrough. The person that said, I'm here to get that one piece of information, that one piece of inspiration to go home and apply it. See, remember, the ideas that you get this weekend, the information you get this weekend, don't put this information up on a pedestal and stand in awe of how incredible this system is and this product is and the teaching that you're going to receive this weekend. I want you not to put it up on a pedestal. I want you to put it to work. How many of us can agree that the information we're going to get today, tomorrow, that we're going to start applying it? Now, I know that doesn't sound as exciting as some of the other stuff, but I want you to write this down. Success is not sexy. You are, but success isn't. See, we get caught up sometimes in the flash, and that the way to win in this business is you have to have huge meetings with hundreds of people show up, that you got to be an expert presenter, that you've got to be the most talented person in the room, that you got to look the best, dress the best, and I'm here to tell you that none of that matters when you're talking about your ultimate success in this business. The ability to have mixers on the calendar. So what is a mixer? How many of you have hosted a mixer in your home? Stand up if you have hosted a mixer in your home. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look around. This is the backbone of Organo. The strength of Organo's leadership is in each and every one of you who consistently host a meeting to share this incredible opportunity. Give yourself a round of applause. Write this down. Meetings make money. Meetings make money. Now, some of you might have come here only to have fun, and that's okay. We want you to have fun. Like Odile and Super E said, we want you to have fun. But how many of you came here because you know that making money is the best kind of fun you can have? Before you leave today, it is imperative that you have mixers booked on your schedule. Because without direction, people wander aimlessly. Without direction, there's confusion. Where there's confusion, there's paralysis. How many of you are tired of your incomes, your finances being paralyzed? You got to set those things free. And the way that we do that is by having a mixer. How do we have a mixer? You have a list. It's part of the 4-step system. That's why you want a list that's long and strong. If you've only got 5, 10 people on your list, it can be really intimidating to call every single person on your list to come over for one meeting. You want to have a list. Build it long, build it strong. Start with 100 and keep adding to it. They say the average 6th grader knows 2,000 people by name. The average 6th grader knows 2,000 people by name. So those of you that have a list, I started the same way. I had less than 10 phone numbers in my cell phone when I started this business. But how many of you know you don't know more people than you do know? You don't know more people than you do know. There is a world of strangers out there waiting to become your friend, waiting for you to extend the sample, to extend the invite, to extend the invitation to come and learn about what it is that you do. If you're grateful that somebody shared the power and the blessing of Ganoderma with you in your life, if you're grateful that somebody brought this information into your household, into your life, into your family, stand up. Every time we don't have a meeting, we're denying another room full of people that are standing to their feet, grateful for the opportunity, excited for the opportunity. Guys, how do you invite? There's 3 very simple steps. Write these down. Be in a hurry. The reason why you want to be in a hurry, how many of you are tired of having to overcome a lot of objections when you're on the phone, when you're sharing the information? If you're having to overcome a lot of objections when you're out there sharing the plan, you're sharing this information, I'm here to tell you that you're talking too much. And if you're like, is she talking to me? I wonder if I'm the one talking too much. The answer is yes. Sometimes we get so excited that we do what's called verbal vomit. Anybody willing to admit they've done the verbal vomit where you just kind of throw up all the information you have all at once to this one person before you've even said hello and asked them how their day is? So when you invite properly, it overcomes all of those objections. Now, I'm looking for that one person today who's going to take these 3 steps for how to have a proper invite, how to build a proper mixer, and apply them. Because the one person who takes this information and doesn't reinvent the wheel and actually follows it the way the system has designed it to be followed will win greater than you can even imagine. Because we have to remember, success isn't sexy. The celebration of success is, and should be, but like Mr. Edwin Haynes says, successful people get good at doing the boring things more often and more expertly than anybody else does them. You've got to be brand new every time you give that sample, like it was the first time you gave that sample. Every time you give the presentation, every time you give the invite. What I like to do before I invite, I take about 60 seconds, I take a few deep breaths, and I picture how that call is going to go. Because we get what we see. Mr. Holtenbug says you get what you picture. So some people, we focus so much on how it could go wrong or how it could go bad that we get paralyzed and we never make the phone call. Have you ever heard the story of the husband and wife who started this business? They're really excited, Cosmos. They're like, we're going to do this. And he said, you go upstairs, honey, to make your calls, and I'm going to be downstairs making my calls for my first meeting. She calls 20 people. She's super excited. She's got 5 confirmations. She comes downstairs, and her husband says, honey, nobody said yes to me. I called my 20. She said, that's all right. You call 20 more. I'm going to call 20 more. She finished her phone calls first. She comes downstairs. She's standing outside of her husband's office. And she's got her ear pressed to the door. And she's like, wait a minute. Then he opens the door, and he said, honey, I made my phone calls, and nobody can come. And she said, let me see your phone, right? Let me see that cell phone. She pulls open his cell phone, and he hadn't dialed one phone number. How many of you have ever had the phone feel like a 1,000-pound gorilla? You just can't pick it up. I've only got about 20 people in the audience this morning that are being honest. Has anybody ever been like, man, I know I need to call this person. I know they need what I have, but I just can't pick up the phone because we're leading with our fear instead of our faith. If you can't pick up that phone, I need you to get the picture of the person that inspires you. I need you to get the picture of the future that you've designed for yourself, the purpose of why you're here. Maybe it's your favorite testimonial that inspires you. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your children. You might not be able to pick up the phone for you, but could you do it for your kids to have a better way of life? And I want you to put yourself in the right state of mind. Hype yourself up. Believe that you can. And then you pick up the phone. And the first thing you're going to do is be in a hurry. Why? Because if you know, Steve, that I'm in a hurry, you're not going to ask me a bunch of questions. If you know, listen, Steve, I'm giving you a call. I don't have a lot of time. I'm getting ready for a meeting, but I wanted to ask you a quick question. How many of you can say that? How many of you will actually say it? Being able to do it and actually doing it are 2 very different things. So, Steve, listen, I'm going to be in a hurry. Show value and then take it away. Be in a hurry, show value, take it away. Those are the 3 steps to a proper invite to your meeting. I still remember the very first time I used it correctly. I'd been in the business for about 6 weeks and was really struggling to get people to show up at my mixers because I'd pick up the phone and I'd say whatever just came out of my mouth. And one day Stephen said, Casey, what if you actually do what you've been taught to be done? So I listened to that section of the cash cow audio and I said, okay, I'm gonna do it the way he says to do it. And I picked up the phone and I called a friend I hadn't spoken to in about 4 years. I called her, I said, Brittany, listen, I noticed on Facebook, I said, I don't have a lot of time, I'm actually driving, getting ready to pull into my meeting. I noticed on Facebook that you posted that you're really stressed out about being able to make the rent this week. If I had something that I could show you how to not change what you're currently doing, but make the rent this week, would that be worth 30 minutes to an hour of your time and a cup of coffee? She said, oh my God, that would be a lifesaver. She said, tell me everything. I said, well, actually, I'm just pulling into that meeting I told you about, but I've got a group of people that I'm working with. I didn't have the success. I had to edify the success of other people. I got a group of people that I'm working with. One of them is a successful broker owner of her own real estate company. The other used to be a professional athlete. We've come together. They're helping people just like you and I. Listen, I've got limited seating. This is the value. This is the takeaway. I've got limited seating available. Can you prioritize your schedule on Tuesday night to be at this address at 6:30 so I can introduce you to the people that are going to show you how to make your rent this week? She said, oh my God, absolutely. Give me the address. I literally hung up the phone. I was sitting next to my dad while we were driving, and I looked at him, and I was like, holy, and I said a word I'm not going to say here, holy, you know what? It works. Give yourself the opportunity to have an aha moment by following instructions the way they're designed to have your holy moly moment. How many of you want a holy moly moment in your business? Be in a hurry, show value. What's in it for them? We got to stop telling everybody all the things that we love about the business. Take yourself out of the equation, become the listener instead of the talker. Because the invite done properly, I'm here to tell you that a proper invite has them joining your business mentally before they ever show up at your house. If you're not saying, listen, I'm getting ready to step into a meeting, or I'm getting ready to step onto a conference call, I'm getting ready to head into work, if you're not saying those things, they're going to bombard you with questions. You can't explain it over the phone. It's too much information. When you're making the invite, remember, you're not making the invite to get them to join. You're making the invite to get them to show up. Once they show up, the meeting does the work. So you're going to be in a hurry. You're going to show value. Then you're going to take it away. So if somebody says, you know, listen, Casey, what is it? If you don't tell me about it, I'm not coming. Well, like I said, I'm getting ready to step in a meeting. I don't have time. What I'm going to do is put you down to follow up with you in 6 months because I got a lot of people coming and limited seats available. Because the people that are looking to follow you, they're looking to follow a leader that's different than them, somebody who's confident. Somebody, when they get started in the business and they're afraid to pick up the phone, you can say, listen, all I need you to do is exactly what I did with you. The best way to learn and the best way to teach is by example. So you're going to put those invites together. How do you have a mixer, a home, an office, a one-on-one? Have a place where you can get together to share the information. Now I want everybody to take a deep breath with me. We do not get paid in Organo for being great speakers, for being talented motivational trainers. We get paid in Organo to share the vision and the mission of bringing the treasures of the earth to the people of the world. When you're having a mixer and you're showing the plan, you're not up there to be the best speaker who's ever given the Organo plan in the history of mankind. You're up there to share the information. How many of you want to be the most talented presenter who doesn't make any money? Or how many of you are okay if you suck at presenting, but you're rich? And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but people say, oh, I can't speak like Rod Smith. I don't have his sense of humor. I can't dance like Celia or Super E or Deanna. I don't have that kind of confidence. Or you know what? I don't know the details like an Edwin Haynes. I don't have the experience of a Sam Bean. And you look at all the reasons why you can't have a mixer instead of the one reason why you can. And the one reason why you should have a meeting is because meetings make money. Guys, we came here on purpose. The culture of Organo is amazing. The unity, the loyalty, the edification. But if we're not setting an example of extreme profitability, unity and kumbaya is like, no. No. I love you all, but I want to love you on the beaches of the world, the golf courses of the world, the castles of the world. Not in the same neighborhood, driving the same car, eating the same food with the same people over and over and over again. You came to change. Why do we call it Expo? Because if we called it come to our Get Uncomfortable party, nobody would come. Getting uncomfortable, you got to get excited. I challenge you to exchange a couple of words. People say, I'm afraid to present. And I'm like, man, fear is so disempowering. What if you changed it to, I'm uncomfortable to present? I'm uncomfortable to make the phone call. Start programming your mind, because fear is a very powerful thing. Don't let it have a stranglehold on you. How do you have a mixer? Make sure it's clean. Can I just be really honest with you really quick? You gotta be clean. It doesn't have to be like spotless, the Friends show, it doesn't have to be Monica clean, but it's gotta be clean. And when you have a mixer, the one thing, ladies and gentlemen, when you have people come over, make sure you've got a clean bathroom. Make sure you got a clean bathroom. I'm sorry, but when you sit down at somebody's house to use the bathroom and there's like 5 years of dust on the baseboard that you're looking at, you don't want to drink that coffee. Clean it up a little bit. Have some music. Keep the presentation brief. One of the greatest mistakes people make, I think it's important to know what that is so that you can avoid it. How many of you, if you knew there was a pitfall, if you knew there was something dangerous coming ahead, you'd like somebody to tell you, hey, avoid that area? You saw that with the flood, right? People were saying, listen, avoid this area because it's underwater. If you do go there, you're going to have to turn around and come all the way back. So one of the pitfalls that people experience is they see some of these incredible leaders and presenters. You see them speak on stage. You see them speak in an in-home meeting. You see diamonds and blue diamonds and black diamonds and crown ambassadors give the presentation. You can't duplicate the type of presentation John Sectores and Blanca Sectores gives in this business. They've got 9 years of successful experience. When you see, how many of you have seen Mr. Holton Buggs give a presentation? How many of you have ever seen him give a presentation in 30 minutes or less? Why? He's Holton Buggs. When he takes 3 hours or 4 hours, it's an investment. Every hour longer over an hour that he gives you is another 10 years you don't have to work in traditional corporate America. But what it's not is saying, hey, you brand new person who's done 3 meetings, now you go do a 4-hour meeting. You're losing your people. Keep it fun. Keep it fresh. The information is so simple. You know what's getting them involved in the business? It's not the actual presentation. It's the way you treat them before the meeting and the way you treat them at the conclusion of the meeting. You don't rush the information, but you don't want to drag it out. Bring people over. You know why? How many of you are busy? Have kids to drop off. You've got homework. You've got dinner to make. You've got all of these things you need to do at the end of the day. Guess what? Your guests have those things too. Miss Nikki Idetta, diamond consultant from Hawaii. I was talking to her this morning, doing a meeting in her home Monday through Saturday. She does 6 meetings a week. She says the entire presentation to close takes 45 minutes. People come over. If you have the chance to use real cups, use real cups. The coffee tastes better out of a mug. Simple little things. Music, not so loud you can't hear, but loud enough that it makes people engage with each other. Set the tone. If you're nervous, play Taylor Swift, Shake It Off before your people come over, because you don't want the first thing they see and the first thing they feel from you when they walk into your home is how afraid you are or how uncomfortable you might be. But what if doing it right? What if doing it right in this business, you invited and Massimiliano showed up at your house? Brand new diamond in Organo. What if you built this business right and the same thing that you're afraid of, the other person on that phone call is praying that you call them and bring them into your experience, that you bring them into your Ganoderma blessing? See, ladies and gentlemen, as you build this business, it's gonna take consistency. I'm here to tell you right now, if you leave this event planning to do one meeting, it's not gonna work. How many of you that are married or have a significant other, you're cool if they just tell you they love you once a year? They've already made, I'm committed. It doesn't get a whole lot more committed than being married, so now that we're committed, we've said our Organo vows, I'm gonna tell this business I love it once a year. How many of you would that cause discord in your relationship? Some of you have neglected to put a ring on your OG business. Because what's happening is through our consistency breeds stability. I'd love to tell you that the reason why so many of these leaders have succeeded at the rate, style, and income that they have is because they're just so special. But the truth is, we're no different than every single person in the audience. What separates that line of the audience from the diamonds, from being in this section, is consistency. Consistency brings stability. If somebody said, Casey, could you pick one thing about the success you've had in Organo? I've said for 8.5 years, I've done a meeting every single Tuesday for 8.5 years, not missing one meeting. Can you say that to your people? Because the people that you're selling this dream to, you're selling these products to, you're selling this opportunity, you know what they want from you? Stability. They want consistency. They're not looking for the most talented leader. They're looking for the one that 10 years from now, they know is still having their weekly meeting. Miss Nikki doesn't even give the presentation. She uses the OG Academy presentation. So if you're afraid to give the plan, edify the video and press play. How many of you can go diamond working part-time, earn a more than full-time income by pressing play? See, the reality is, I know everybody gets excited, want to go diamond. Everybody's like, yeah! Want to go sapphire and get your wings? Yeah! Want to win a Benz? Ah! Want to work? Boo. Guys, there's no escaping the work, but I want to tell you that there's nothing as rewarding. How many of you want to feel accomplished? You want to feel like you were actually a driving part of Organo becoming $1 billion a year company. I'm sorry, Edwin, I don't think they know how much money is in this comp plan when OG is at $1 billion a year. Guys, I'm trying to get a point here that's so important. You've got to be as excited about the work as you are about the result, or it's never going to happen for you. You got to get as excited for the sample, as excited for the follow-up, as excited to share the plan, as excited to over-invite and call 30 and have 3 people show up. Some people aren't willing to get 27 no's to become a millionaire for the rest of your life. You've got to get as excited about the work part of the business as you do about the result. Why does this jacket mean so much? It's not because it's so beautiful and your name's inside. It's not because you just share it with your other diamond family. This represents consistency and hard work. And I'm sorry that it's not as sexy, but it is a whole heck of a lot more profitable. How many of you can get excited about being consistent. It's not flashy. It's not sexy. You got to go where there is no glory to create the story. Everybody wants to go where the story's already built. How many of you are willing to start from scratch? See, the world is praying, God, send me a cake. Send me a cake. I really want to eat cake. And he sends you some eggs, and he sends you some flour, and he sends you some butter, and he sends you some sugar, and you're just like, that don't look like cake to me. Some of you are sitting at home going, God, send me a diamond. Send me a winner. Send me a champion. Send me some financial freedom. And they send you somebody who says, hi, what do you do? And you're like, that don't look like what I ordered. Ladies and gentlemen, the work in this business is so much fun. You gotta have fun. You gotta believe. You gotta increase, but you've gotta work. And you gotta work consistently. I challenge you to think of every great relationship, every great company, every great experience you have in your life, the friendships that you hold the most dear, the relationships you hold the most dear. You hold them in such esteem because of the consistency of love, because of the consistency. Why do you consistently go to work? So they consistently pay you. I'm not putting down your job, ladies and gentlemen, but if it was not for Organo, my net worth right now in corporate America isn't even $10 an hour. You can see everything, you can see all the diamonds as they are now, but don't disrespect the process. Guys, every single leader down here, consistently, if you're not having a team meeting, your people aren't going to have one. You've got to have a meeting on the schedule every week coming out of this event. Every single week coming out of this event, you got to have a place for you and your people to bring people. And you got to have your own meetings, not just the team meeting, because there's no accountability at a team meeting. If I show up only when Mr. Holton Buggs is doing the presentation, nobody has to know that I'm not working, because the fact that I don't have any guests or people there, nobody even notices, because there's 200 other people in the room. But the accountability of having your own meeting on the schedule, the accountability of if nobody comes, it's because you didn't invite anyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know right now, never has it been more obvious than with the recent natural disasters taking place in Texas and Louisiana, that people are looking for opportunity.